let's start with Martin, showing us a very simple explanation on how JavaScript can be used to validate our code. So Martin,
yeah, I'm Martin. I must say I'm really standing here just to show something we were being shown in class. Now, this was part of the class assignment. It was like a sign-up sheet, or maybe a sign-up form for data students, depending on what you want to insert in the database. Now, in this case, we were inserting student details, and what I'm going to show simply is how to validate your form. In that, when you register, it will not allow anybody, as you can see there, it will not allow any empty box. You must fill in something. That is what we refer to as validation. After entering my name, for example, Martin, it will, and say maybe register, it will still say enter your address, which means it still needs all the fields to be filled. It can't insert data before all the fields you validated are filled. This is the statement, enter your first name, the same.
We just got of an idea of creating rain, then once it rains, the grass grows. So we can see the rain drops. So once the rain is raining, the grass decides to grow.
it's a bit faint anyway, but because of the projector, there's something going down here. There's rain. If you went to see the screen, you'll see more. There's something going on. Quite vertical.
Let me just try and explain a bit of the code. We started by creating the animation. So we put the width and the height, then the object that is going to be created, then the frame length, the size of the knee of the frame. So that is well. So at the background we put the width and the height and the color that we're going to use for this to be displayed. So the background color, that is where we put the background color. Then the raindrops, how we create the raindrops. So we say that for the raindrops, then we put the size with the x-axis and the y-axis. Then the length, yani the size of the raindrop, then the color. Then the raindrops, how they are going to be pouring down. So here we declare the speed of the raindrop. So if we put here 0.1, it will be more faster. But if we put the 0.01, it goes a bit. So here is where we determine the speed of the raindrops. Yeah. Then here is where we went and updated about the raindrops. So it starts with small rain, then as time goes, it continues increasing. But then after it reaches to the maximum point, it goes back to the minimum point and it starts raining again. So here's where we declare the grass strands. They are just lines, so they just increase from the x-axis towards incrementing. So as they move towards the positive side, they continue growing up and up. So that is why we have declared the grass strands. Yeah. So all these about the grass. And also the color. So as you notice about the grass, it doesn't have a constant color. It is not just green. There are different colors within the yeah. It is not just green, there are some colors within it, so it makes it much colorful. Yeah.
So is the grass growing? Or?
Yeah, once it starts, let me just start.
How long can the grass grow?
You set it to a minimum, like grows until it reaches a certain point, it stops growing. And also there was, as you've seen, that the rain is not like falling in a straight line, set it like randomly from this point to another point. So when it rains, the grass grows, and then when it reaches a point, it stops growing.
I think that you can also create a wall to come and cut the grass. A wall to cut the grass. Maybe you could tell us okay, just for the sake of Professor who has just walked in, you could just take maybe a minute to show that rain in the grass, but for the code, probably since you already explained to people who are programmers, probably they are more interested in the code. So just explain a little bit on the interface.
So I wanted to know, because people may not know what the context is.
Our context is in the new. This is a canvas. The context is sample canvas.
The canvas.
Okay. The complete is hanging. So that context is a canvas. In HTML, they support canvas, so you can draw a circle, you can draw a triangle. So we created that context over here. Sorry, the machine is a bit slow.
Just go to the interface.
Okay, it seems that is a bit hard.
Maybe as the machine starts, Lois, you could tell us what are some of the things we learned through the session that you have applied in this context?
We learned about the function, the way that you treat it, and though some of the things we added, like the context, but with the application of the function and also the way that they told us that you could use the control functions like if. We also added it. So some of them with the one which you added, the context, now it's how we made this.
Okay. To Professor, we had already done this one. As for us, we just created rain. There are raindrops going down, and there's the grass. So once the rain rains, the grass grows. Yeah.
Wow, there are some drops in
There's some drops
behind the white ones.
That's fantastic.
That's the rain.
And also we just tried to do canvas. A canvas, there's a ball, and the ball is bouncing. Yeah. That is all, yes.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you could say your names as you sit down and your name and program and level.
Okay, my name is George Maura, doing computer science, a third year student, majoring in programming, but majorly in mobile programming. But from yesterday, I decided to change my mind to go to JavaScript, and I intend to increase in that knowledge.
Thank you.
My name is Lois Luku. I'm doing computer science, second year. I was doing, my major is networking, but with the help and also with the motivation, also JavaScript is something that I'm doing.
Thank you. Next, we have a presentation from him. I know his name in a short while. Or both of you? Yes. That's fine. We start with Radens.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jessica. He is Hugo. We are first year, second sem. Okay. Our project here is about just creative face, and then the background keep on changing. First of all, before he started to explain, okay, I'd like to say something. For us, me and Hugo, we are new, I think I can say, in the world of programming. We are just doing C++ now. So we had so many sophisticated ideas, but as in it kept on failing when we were doing that. And then we just realized we need to practice more and more. So I think you can go on with the explanation.
Yeah. What we did is just you move, okay, like if you see on our program over here, you have mouse X and then mouse Y. This is the fill. The fill is for coloring the background or coloring anything in this image. And then the rectangles, these are the form in which this background will be changing. And then ellipse is just to make the circular face and circular mouth or circular eyes. And then we have, yeah, that's it. Then we have a variable draw equal to function. And then if you put the mouse inside here, you can see the background is changing the colors. Yeah, that's all. Actually, that's all that we did. We used Khan Academy, and then we checked some. We took introduction to JavaScript and all, introduction to drawing and animation. So this is the one which helped us to, because, okay, like if you can increase the size of the face or decrease it. Can you see it changing a bit? Yes. Yeah. If you do it on this side, it just increases. It makes it a bit like an eggshell. In the form of an egg kind of thing. Then you can reduce it a lot. Okay. Okay, so what I was showing you is how the head can move, can change the shape and all, and also the eyes can do the same thing, and the mouth also can do the same thing, to move the eyes big. See how it just changed over there? Now this guy has big eyes now. So yeah, if I put again the cursor, I can change the colors also in here. Like that. Yeah, that's it. That's just what we did, and nothing really special. So
Maybe out of what we've been learning all through, what have you applied most? Probably looking at the code, out of what we learned well from the beginning of the session.
okay, about this mouse thing, we didn't learn. Yeah. Okay, the thing is about the event, how it changes and all. That's just what we try to apply, and the variables, the usage of variables, and the rest of.
Probably if we have a usage of a variable here,
Variables and
we have a usage of a function here, which we went through on Thursday. Thank you. Let's clap for them. I think we have thank you.
3 examples, and the first one is let me start. The first one is a tool that allows you to plot mathematical functions, and you can input your functions there, and then you just plot, and it draws in the function. And you can do any type of function you okay, maybe this answer there. Okay, maybe you saw that one. I think you can see, so it has 3 functions now, and then you can zoom in, zoom out, move left, move up, move it down, left and right. Oops. Sorry, maybe yes. Yeah. So that's the first example. The second one is the tool that takes an image and then it turns it into a mosaic. Like for instance, if I'll use this image as an example. As you can see, that's how the image looks like. Yeah, and so I can just put the name of the image. Sorry, the computer's a bit slow. The name of the image here, and sorry. The computer has hung a bit, so. Okay, it's not responding, so. It's bad. Yeah, so then I load the image. So this is, it has a broken tap into mosaic, and you can change the you can edit these settings to maybe change the size of the squares. Like if I do 20 maximum tiles, you see you'll get bigger tiles. Yeah, and then I can shuffle them so they distort the image. Yeah, you can see now it's no longer in order, and then I can make them run in a loop. And I can put them back in order. When I put them back in order, it's like looking at the image through different glasses. Squeeze tries to fill up the space as much as possible, because the thing is the boxes should not overlap. So they have a maximum and a minimum weight from the average width and height, plus or minus something within the deviation. So when you try to squeeze it, tries to make it as small as possible so you can take fit as much square as tiles as it can. When you don't, it will they'll just stick to the size you've set. So that's the second example. Close it. And the third one is a simple game, which uses the dome to solve. You have to solve a puzzle. So here you have a puzzle. You just have to arrange the numbers in the right order. Sorry. Okay.
What are you doing? You click on
I'm supposed to click, then it goes to the empty tile, but it's not. Okay.
Close the other on the tab too.
When you try closing this.
Okay, but I think ideally you've understood what he's trying to come up with. It's more of a puzzle. You normally know that a puzzle will leave some space. So you're playing around with your numbers to fill up as long as they are organized well. So what are some of the things we've learned that you've applied, probably right from the beginning?
Okay, first I'll have the animation. Since for the one with the images, and it uses an animation, like it draws the squares and then it erases them and then draws them at new locations. So when that is being done fast enough, it looks like it's animating. And it uses all the control structures with and the functions and the objects. Like for instance, when we are building the function, each function is an object. So each function is an object, and so the graph will keep track of all the functions that you've created. And so the functions, the objects, they allow you to redraw the function after it has been erased. And for this one, this is just manipulating the DOM. Here, the squares are HTML div elements. So when you click them, it responds to the on-click events, and then it moves them to the empty tile.
I think that's marvelous. We are able to see our students now applying what they learned. Did you introduce yourself?
My name is Clement.
What are you doing?
My name is Clement. I'm doing computer science. I'm second year for SEM.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Wellington. He has something to do with encryption. Using JavaScript, so we'll give him a chance to demonstrate to us that. As he said something, is there anybody else who has something to show apart from the few who have what I've already identified? Anybody else? I don't want to block out anybody. For the sake of the VC who missed the first presentation, I'll give Martin maybe 2 minutes. After him, we'll just quickly explain what you demonstrated, the first one. Anybody that I'm looking out? Okay, thank you.
Okay, basically for those who don't know what encryption is, basically it is from a very layman's term is you're trying to take something, or let's talk of text or any set of data, and you're trying to convert it into something else which may not really be recognized by the other person, not unless they know how the encryption works. Basically, you can think of when I'm speaking to you, for example, my mother tongue, you may not understand, but then someone else might. So basically what I've done is, the information you can understand it, but you can't understand the language. So I'm using my language as an encryption. Then I pass on the message which you may not understand, but unless you have someone interpreting that for you. But then in this case now, because it's data, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take a word, basically a string, which is this. The browser is not able to interpret the wording between the quotes. But then when you look at the console, it shows you some sort of gibberish words. So if I were to pass this message over a network, no one will be able to tell what it is, not unless they encrypt it back to whatever it was. So let me just take you through the code segment of it. Oh yeah. This is the HTML part of it, whereby the name that I was encrypting was Wellington. However, when I run it again, let me use a different word. Like
This is my name.
yeah?
This is my name. I really want to see how it will be.
So James Obuhoma. Then these are basically the functions that I'm passing the name into. The first one is the one that encrypts the data. Then the second function is what decrypts it from what it was. So now this is, I stored my functions in a different file, which is a Java file, JavaScript file, which Tony had explained to us. You can actually write all your codes in a JavaScript, then you refer to the JavaScript in a later file. So, okay, in this file, which is a JavaScript file, I have 3 functions. The first function, which is this, is the one that converts all the, it basically takes the string and converts it into binary format. Then the second function takes the binary and converts it back to the string. However, the main algorithm lies within this segment, which actually utilizes the first 2 functions. The first one, for example, you can see I have an array here, which takes the word which I have actually written in my HTML file and converts it into a binary part. Then after it has been converted to that, I run it through this loop. This is actually a shorthand method of writing the loops. It's an if, but you have the condition, then the outputs, if this is accepted or it's not accepted. Then after I've done my encryption, or it has run through my algorithm, it then converts back the binary into the string as it was supposed to be. So this is James Obuhoma. Remember, we've changed the word back in the HTML file. So James Obuhoma has been encrypted into that, which the script, okay, the browser is not going to be able to interpret it, but when you look into the console, this is what it has been given. However, if I pass this again through my function, then I return back James Obuhoma. And because it's binary based, you can actually encrypt any kind of data within your computer, whether it's video or whether it's because basically everything is taken back to the binary level. So it's basically a multi-dimensional encryption algorithm. So that's it.
The introduction you didn't mention you.
I'm Wellington Mugeni. I'm a computer science student, second year, second sem. Yeah.
Basically what he has worked on about encryption, if we remember, we had Dr. Lovett Jr., not senior, I think Dr. Lovett Jr., is that right? He had a talk to us 2 trimesters ago on encryption. Encryption is a very critical aspect in information system security. Basically, when you are passing information from one machine to another machine, it should be hidden so that even if somebody intercepts, if it is your maybe credit card number and somebody is intercepting, he cannot see the number itself. It is hidden into something else. It's more of a mathematical approach and the computing approach which can work out. So Wellington has shown us that JavaScript can also do the same. Thank you very much. Maybe Martin, in 1 minute's time or 2 minutes time, you can just repeat what you did so that the other students can be able to see it and those who missed can be able to see it. For those who are coming in late, actually we are doing a repetition of the first one, form validation. This is what the VC missed in the beginning, so we will quickly explain that again. The first one.
Yeah, once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, for the sake of our students, the professor and our new students, but I believe in coming a little late, we have done this. Now, what I was talking about here was using the external JavaScript being called in the main PHP file to allow you to validate your form. For example, this is your sign-up form. We were using this as a class example, and I'll also share with you. Now, in this case, you find that before, at times you find people may register and fill the database with null values, and it will, most of the times, I've tried it in other applications, most of the times you find that it is risky in that you find reading the value in the database, somebody can just read a null value and it will be easy for hacking. Now, in this case, we were using like, for example, that is my name. You find somebody who signs up with or registers with only one name or one field, that one field with the details. After it's registering, it will demand to add the other fields. For example, in this case, I added postal address, let's say this one. But after register, it still demands that you must fill all the fields in this form. Now you find that this is just a JavaScript that is being called from okay, it's an external JavaScript that is being called to allow you to call this. And as I explained, because of time, I'll just go fast, a little bit faster. Yeah, this is the sign up form. It can be either PHP or HTML, depending on how you want to insert your data in the database. Now, in this case, I call the JavaScript, the external JavaScript that validates in that nobody should be able to sign up or maybe register without filling all the values in the fields that are declared. You find that here, this is the validate JavaScript record. I don't know whether I should. Let's go back to the file. Show you. It's already passed. Now this is the external JavaScript file, and this is the data inside there. It uses a function called validate. This is in this case, if we are using the if statement, if that text area or text box is equal to null or there is no data fed into it, then it means it will ask you, it will pop up an alert and it will ask you enter your name, depending on where your cursor is. Maybe you are on the name or maybe on the address or maybe on the city text field. Also, just I'm sure it's not indicated here. We can also just that is a step forward. You can also for example, this ones you are only saying the text field will not be null, but also you can put other demands. You say maybe you want this text field to be in this format. For example, I'm talking about the email now. You want it, somebody can fill any data, but you want the email to have the email format. For example, somebody at gmail.com or something. That's all. Also we do it. We do the validation in this form. After that, you will call it now the PHP in your PHP or HTML file. This is the validate form. We call it here. Yeah, as I explained earlier, we are just using the validate because they are already in the same file with the same folder with the other file I'm calling the sign up file. So yeah, after calling it, it will read all the restrictions you put in the JS file to this PHP file. So you will not be able to sign up or create your account before you fill all those demands. Yeah, that is that again.
Thank you very much. I mentioned the fact that we have so many applications of JavaScript. All of them that have been shown in case, we can identify the applications amongst the list that I have. Probably a designer programming tool, reacting to events, validation, etc. As I have read them through that. It would be very wrong for me to lead the whole of this session and not to have something to show. One of the key applications I was working on was, I think this was when I was doing my master's. I was looking at a traffic monitoring system where we want to track vehicles on the road and get their data and map the data down the line. I will not demonstrate the part of getting the data from the vehicle to my server because I can't demonstrate it here. The only thing I'll demonstrate is the fact that how will I append a map on my system? How will I add a map on my system? So definitely, I'm trying to show the fact that we can use JavaScript to call in some few things that are far away from us that we want just to add to embed into our code. For instance, this was a system I was trying to develop, but I wanted this map to be in place. It is just a Google map that I'm trying to add up to the system, whose aim was that if I be able to track, this could be one vehicle. If I slide my mouse slightly there, it will tell you this car was called a demo car, giving the coordinates, the speed at which it was moving, and then the time that it was being tracked at that moment. But the question is, how do I add this map to my whole document? This is pure HTML, but how do I append the map? if we look at the code that I was using for that page, basically, I called JavaScript init. This is JavaScript I'm calling. But what is my target? My target is the source is leading to maps.google Maps. This is a website. Tony explained to us how we can have an external file coming in place. Wellington has had an external file being called in the system. Martin has had an external file being called in the system. But in my case, my external file is another website. I'm calling Google Maps. So once the Google Maps come, it means now my interface here, the whole of this slot now is filled by Google Maps. As the Google Maps come in place, then I will be able to carry out all the other tasks I want. For instance, I had the JavaScript open, but I prefer to open another JavaScript. But out of this JavaScript, there is a whole long code of PHP, which is doing several other tasks that I wouldn't want to explain in this case, but it is being closed down here as another script. The aim of that whole code is now to plot these vehicles that you are seeing coming here as simple markers, is to plot them, to locate them at the various positions where they were. I think by the time I was picking these, one of these cars was actually parked at Rongai here. Should have been here. Okay, it's slightly away from our campus, but it was around here. So JavaScript has many applications. You might want to just have something embedded in your code and you are unable to embed it. You can use JavaScript to have that file called in your code. So almost all the other applications within the whole system I was working with, wherever I wanted a map, even at this point here, wherever I want maybe this car to be shown on a map, I will use JavaScript to call the map so that when somebody clicks on that, it calls the JavaScript which links to the map, then plots it separately. So for those of us who are working on projects, let's look in the direction of what can JavaScript offer to us and how can we apply it in different contexts. As I said, I will not explain it in depth because the other part is being filled with PHP doing different functions, but JavaScript only calling the map in our context. So I think that one wraps up most of the activities we were looking at, and I keep on referring to what JavaScript can do, what JavaScript can do. So once more, is there anybody I'm locking out who has something to showcase and I'm locking him out? For those who have walked in, do you have something to show? Anybody I'm locking out? Our students apply. And this is with respect to us helping to gauge whether what they were taking us through, has it been applied anywhere, have we spotted it anywhere, and is it commentable, or what do you think about your audience? These have been your students. What do you think about what they have demonstrated? Kenya?
Well, mine's going to be very short and brief, but I just want to say with what me, Chase, Tony, and the other team has taught you so far, I'm very impressed. Quite honestly, I'm very impressed with what all of you have done with your separate projects. And I'm just really happy that you are all able to make your own creations and just make your own programs and just be impressed. I'm very impressed with all of you.
Thank you.
Well, when I first came here, the idea of the class was supposed to be mainly, as some people thought, I guess at least, that I was supposed to inspire you guys because I'm a 14-year-old taking on programming, right? Well, after seeing all of your projects up here, I was pretty impressed with a lot of them. In fact, I hadn't even thought of doing what some of you did ever with coding, and all of your ideas were unique, all of them were special, and all of you really did put effort into your projects, and I just wanted to say I'm pretty happy to see that, you guys.
For those who missed yesterday, there were lots of events, and Chess actually showed us it could be 3 or 4 applications of JavaScript, and that was more in animation, So I'll allow him to at least demonstrate to us one of them, which was so exciting as we get close towards finalizing the whole project.
And so, well, if you ever want to see any of my programs, like the ones I make on Khan Academy, then you go to khanacademy.org/profile and /programs. Caps lock. So first you go to Khan Academy, and then you type in /profile, because this is my profile, /cmarangu, because C for Chase, Marangu for Marangu, and /programs. And I kind of memorized that because I go there so many times. Let's get up. So good. So yeah, I should say user profile up here and distribute. Sure. So I hope you guys could all remember that. If not, I'll just send it. I'll email you guys all this link, and then maybe specifically with it the Rocket one, because in my programs I've made a lot of programs, but it's not going to stay on the research forever. So. Is there like an internet connection or anything problem, or is it just all this?
It's just a time. It's internet connectivity, but it's taking time, but it's loading up.
Yes.
I believe it will be there. Sure.
It takes a bit of time to load up all this stuff on the canvas. So you guys can probably go on your computers too. This is it's going to like pop up. It's going to be like a user profile, and it's going to have all my programs and the boxes. Oh, okay, wait. They don't need to log in. Yeah, this will already work. this have a... Oh, it's So this probably looks familiar to you guys. Programs. Well, this is like, I guess you might call it the hub. It automatically saves all my programs here. The top ones are sorted by most votes and stuff. And then the recent ones are the ones I've made most recently. So here's where we find my rocket one. It takes a bit of time to load, but not as much time as it used to, because it used to show all your programs. Now it just shows like the first 25 minutes. You have the internet cable. Yep, there it is. Okay, so here are all my recent programs. As you can see, here's the rocket one. And there's some cards I made and stuff. I made a little version thing there. This is where all my programs I made most recently are. Also that birthday card I showed you guys. And yeah. So if you want to see the rocket one, maybe I'll just send all of you the link. And then from the rocket one, you can also go right to my profile and my programs. So you go, like, I'll probably send you all this link. And then if you want to see my other programs too, then you just click right here. You just and then it shows my programs. So should we see the link right now? Should I send you the link right now? Should I send you the link right now? Yeah. And then so once you guys get this link, then you can go right here. Here will be the display.
Okay, they are taking long because they are online, so it's just demonstrating from his profile directly there. So the delay is internet speed, not necessarily the program itself. The program is okay.
Yeah, it doesn't usually take this long. It's taking. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yep, this is too slow.
Just give us a second. Yes, it won't be as interesting as it was yesterday.
Okay, intentional
trying
error.
to go up, yes. The problem is the speed
problem
of
is,
the
yeah.
internet is a bit too slow. But it should be moving up so fast. As it moves up so fast, it's leaving the whole array to show the path we follow up the ladder. I think the internet speed challenge could be because it's coming up, yes, but the speed is too slow.
Okay, this should be faster. But less quality.
Maybe we could try that one for the fireworks.
Yeah, because you won't take a second to edit it very well. But yeah, so here's kind of like super slow version. I don't know. But yeah, you guys, all of you saw it yesterday when it was finished, I think. Anyways. And then so from here, you can go right to, oh, this one's going a lot better. Yeah. And then you, if you haven't seen this program yet, you can click anywhere and then the firework will go at your mouse position. But of course they all stay at the same height. Eventually I think I'll calculate how to make them go up to where your mouse is. Maybe even put it to the side. You know? Here's like sparks and
Actually, yesterday, Chess explained to us all that is happening, particularly how the fireworks works, how it explodes, how the rocket gets up, and what makes it move in a softer speed or faster. Or he actually altered all those parameters yesterday. I was just doing this so that some of us, majority of us who were not in yesterday, come to see at least what are some of the applications he did. But he has so many. You've seen he's linked you to this profile. That is www.khanacademy.org/profile/cmarangu/programs. So all his work has been dumped there. So if you get time on your own, probably you may want to visit this. If you have stable internet, today it's just dragging, but all of them are here. If you have stable internet, then everything is coming up very nicely and you can be able to tell that. So take note of this. I've already indicated here on the board. Yesterday also we were told that more notes, tutorials on how to come up with such things, or rather, if you want to do a self-evaluation, you can still visit the same Khan Academy. What was the other link? Chess for the tutorials.
.org/ well, then you can just click on subjects or computer.
Okay, basically if you visit khanacademy.org, you will get to learn on the whole website. You can now be specific on what do you want to learn. There are so many other materials that you can use in this context. I think for those learn the fundamentals of programming, actually that is what he is demonstrating. So you visit Khan Academy, go to subjects, then pick what you want. Out of that is what he learned actually. He never went to class learning the whole of JavaScript. He never went to school doing that. All he was doing was self-reading and trying to apply that. So you can visit this. I think for the students I normally teach in class, I normally lead you to
www.schools.
Three schools.
Yeah.
w3schools.org/ probably whatever you want. /HTML, you'll be able to find so many HTML notes. /JavaScript, you'll find so many of that. So at least out of this whole bootcamp, you've been able to know that we have Khan Academy where you can get tutorials. We have W3 schools where you can get other further tutorials of what you need. And now here is Chess profile where you can see at least what he has done purely with JavaScript. And all of them are here. He's just struggling because of the internet connectivity, but all of them are actually yesterday were being demonstrated very well yesterday. Maybe you can show that one while that's what's happening with that one?
Now this one's just another game. I worked on it with another user, and it was a tower defense game. This time I'm not really trying. I was just, playing around with it. But, so it was, me and my other user, I started on this tower defense game, and then I got some ideas from this other user. So I commented it on one of his programs, like, hey, I was inspired by your tower defense game, which is a different kind of one, where there's like a track and then you put the towers on the side. But then, we started working on it together, and then it was pretty cool. This one shoots double shot. I invented that one. This one shoots really fast. And these ones block. As you can see. And this one, yeah. This one shoots in random modes. And then also you have money down here, you have report. And so it's, there we go. And then this one shoots in random lanes. And he made it, which was pretty cool. So, and now it's paused. And then you click off the screen to pause. Yeah. That was pretty cool. So,
the audience and even the presenters, any of the general comments that we have. But particularly, I will not knock out Jessica. Be prepared to give a comment. Marcos, Hugo, George, and Salma. But the rest, we can start with the others, maybe giving out any comment you have in this context.
Browsers today, and you hear things like plugins. What is the probability or possibility that all those plugins are built on JavaScript? And if you can do that, is there special need supposed to be taken so that you can integrate it together with the browser or something like that?
Anybody who wants to answer that? Okay, basically one thing we need to understand is that as technology keeps on changing, plugins have to be developed because plugins come in to do specific functions as required. So a plugin will be made with a specific intention. However, as a plugin is being made, it depends on what browser is it going to be applying to. Browsers also are developing as we move on. Like, for example, HTML has moved from the normal HTML we were having, I think HTML4 to HTML5. We have some browsers, older browsers that can't be able to support that HTML5. One of the options is move to and update the browser to an advanced browser. Or if not, then plugins being added to enhance on the capability of that browser performing the task. So in this context, I would say yes, the plugin will come in place if the browser will not automatically provide that facility. But if the facility is being provided, then the plugin will not come in place. So any designer who is coming up with a system must factor in the aspect of what can this browser do. I've seen most HTML programmers coming up with a site, and this is the advice I normally give out to most designers. You'll come up with a site and you're struggling to test it using Mozilla. Then when you upload it, you find somebody using Internet Explorer is seeing some very distorted thing. It's always good to test in a number of browsers for you to be able to be in a position to ascertain its suitability, because plugins now will be varying based on which browser can support what at the time. You want to say something?
Yeah, okay. So to add on what you said, the other day we were talking with Mr. Angari and Mr. Amos that if it would be possible next semester, maybe you can continue on this so that you can learn how now to use what you learn to create real-life projects. Like when you get a job, what do I do? Like that testing, if you get an enterprise application, where do you start all that process? So I think if it would be possible, it can still go on.
As we are almost to come to the end of this bootcamp, Tony plus other number of you actually have suggested, how do we take this to the next level? How can we learn it even more? How can we use it to apply in our projects? How can we take even some commercial? I know some of our students who are actually doing commercial applications, and quite a number. I mean, how can we take ourselves to that level? By the time we are finishing, I can hear some of you say, like Jessica, first year, I'm glad you are even able to present in first year. And by the time, I can imagine, by the time you're in fourth year, you'll be very good. And we want to take this training to the next level. But again, it's about you. We are ready to support you. We are ready to support your initiative. Tony and your colleagues, we are very ready, and I think we can get there. I'm glad Mwaura here, George, has decided to double up now with mobile programming and also JavaScripting, and he has already shown his first step already by creating the rain, yeah, with our sister there. So I think we can make it. If there is the will, there is the way. And if we have the time, we can actually create. And I think I agree with it all.
Maybe I'll add in one more comment on what he asked, and this is basically to Chess and Kenya. Probably, I think Wellington is also trying to imagine a scenario whereby some of these projects you've come up with, you change them to become like a plugin where I'm coming up with my website, and you've already come up with a fireworks thing. Do I need to struggle designing this fireworks thing when it has already been designed by me? The only thing is for it to be available. Then I take it as a plugin, I append it in my code. Have you ever thought about something in that direction?
Yeah.
Where we can pick your code. Probably, you know, when you're using plugins or some additionals, there are normally rules. Don't take it and start altering the code, yet you are not acknowledging the real owner. The real owner is Chess. So have him remain within the code that Chess is the owner. So the only thing you are saying, you are using it the way you do, the way you want it to be done. We've seen so many guys using debt pickers. I can't come up with a debt function to add on my side. The only thing I look for is, we have a code for debt picking, so I only append it. But I don't alter it because I'm trying to acknowledge the fact that it was done by somebody else. Being used. So you could think about such scenarios whereby you offer them, yes, but there should be an acknowledgement from somebody who is using it. Or if you need cash for it, fine, let them pay you as they use your plugins. Yes.
Yeah, with plugins, can you actually make them on your own, not in terms of embedding onto a code, but based on this, for example, Mozilla. You want to add, for example, a compression component or an encryption component. Can you build a plugin and insert it, not in the code, but on a browser? Or they don't provide for that exception?
Most browsers like Mozilla is actually open source. They are actually free for, in fact, they listen to user comments. So probably if you're coming up with a plugin that you think can be used by them, it can be a suggestion to them. Use this, append it in the next version. Or if not, then you install it so that it appends itself as another plugin list, so it's part of what you're using. So probably those would be options there.
What you do, you can submit the plugin there. If you look at, let's say like Mozilla plugins, you see developer, James, developer.
There are different developers.
Different guys who have submitted. So you just submit and then other guys will be able to download it and use it.
Yeah. Probably they'll be having their own standards. They have a task to conform to their standards. Then they'll definitely append it. So next versions can be coming with it already. If not, then we'll append it. Anything?
I'd like to thank Chase, Kenya, and Tony. I have been inspired. We have been inspired. So for sure, we'll have to inspire other people. Secondly, I really think like the world really needs people like Chase, Kenya, and Tony, because as we can see, this world is turning around technology nowadays and probably in the future. Whether in the business world, in the health sector and many other sectors, technology is doing many things, great things. So I encourage you, Chase, Kenya, and Tony, to continue in that voice you have chosen to be. Because by the time you will be like us, I mean, university students, you'll be doing great things. So thank you.
Thank you for that is an encouragement to you, and big thank you to you. Any other comment? Thank you. Anybody else? Word of encouragement.
Encouragement in the sense, sometimes when you start programming normally, it's not very easy. You might lose a lot of hope on the way, but what I would like to tell you, if you get persistent, if you keep on trying, at last you'll actually be able to get there. So initially, it is not really something which is very, very easy. And most of the people who start programming for the first time, they will always say, oh, programming is very, very difficult. It's something which I cannot actually get into. But once you get started and you are persistent, keep on practicing, then at long last, you will get the concept. And once you do, then there you are. Now, there are lots of openings in software development, and in fact, there is a lot you can do in this country. So, there are openings everywhere for programming, and particularly mobile programming. So, take the initiative, learn the art, the skills, and you will not actually get disappointed. So I encourage you to keep on, trying. At long last, you'll get there.
Thank you, Any other comments? Any other comments?
I have an interest in motion graphics, and I want to learn how to do it using JavaScript. Instead of using the programs that are already there, I can be able to create my own motion graphics and have them run the way that I want them to run. Because I've been having issues with animating logos and stuff, and I want to learn how to do it as in personally. I do the codes and everything without having to use the programs that we have in there. And the inspiration is, I've learned that you guys didn't go to maybe a school, certain class, and were taught how to do the coding. Basically using these three websites, I believe I can be able to do that. Is it? Yeah, so I'll also be visiting these websites to know how I can start off my programming skills. And I'll also be contacting you guys to know much from you, so expect something from me. Yeah. Thank you. I'm also inspired by what you guys did. That's brilliant.
As we said yesterday, that is
JavaScript. I'm a first year student, don't know anything about programming, but this which is inspiring me and giving me like programming. As seeing Chase and Kenya here doing this, why can't we do it? We really thank them for coming here, and I would like to tell the department to not stop, to bring us people who can still help us in improving our skills in programming. Yeah. Thank you very much, and may God bless them. And I'd like to tell them to keep it up, because if they stop, they will lose it easily. To keep it up, train, and be better.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Students, so I expect to see a very good impression. Probably you should also pass the message to the others who didn't attend, so that we move as one, as JavaScript grows towards the direction of programming. Any other, maybe probably the last comment?
for James. He has done a wonderful thing, and I think now I would like to maybe call Kenya to give your brief comments, Chase to give a brief comment, and Amos to give a brief comment before we can go now to another session. Okay? Okay, so Kenya, can you start?
Well, I just want to say it's been a great pleasure teaching you all programming, and I've just had a lot of fun showing you my various programs that will be able to help you learn some new skills along the way, and who knows, just experiment with anything, Khan Academy or 3 schools or wherever. As long as you experiment and you just keep on trying your hardest in computer programming or wherever you may be, you'll just go very far, and I wish you all the best.
Well, when I came here, I thought it was for me to inspire you guys and me to be like the teacher and stuff, you know. That's what a lot of people thought it was supposed to be. But really, it was almost backwards. I was having fun. I was having fun coming up here demonstrating like how to code some things. I think maybe I didn't do the best job, but because I was a little unorganized. But still, I had a lot of fun, and you guys all inspired me with what you did in your final projects. Showed me like maybe what I could do when I got more advanced with programming, or just gave me some ideas of like maybe what I could do.
Okay, I'd like to say first of all, okay, this has been a very, very wonderful journey. Personally, I've been doing JavaScript for a while. Then when I saw the notice on the notice board, okay, it kind of like excited me because there's something I wanted to do. I've always wanted to do for some time, is giving back. And Mr. Amos was telling us yesterday about giving back. So I thought to myself, okay, I've learned JavaScript. So what can I do with it? So let me try and teach. And then amazingly, I met these guys. I didn't know who I was going to meet. Apparently, Chase, when Chase was showing me some of his examples, I realized, okay, maybe I've done my program, but maybe the programming I do, maybe I'm only working for it, maybe just get a job. Then I realized it's not about the job, it's about having fun. Programming is hard in some way, but then if you're open-minded and if you have a spark, don't let it just go away. Keep that spark. Programming is fun, and you can learn more and more and more. I have learned JavaScript when it was my first programming language. I learned it, and then after I explored my mind, I started to have interest in other languages. I taught myself Ruby, C, and other programming language, and then I realized there's no limit. So no one should tell you it's impossible, right? Nothing is impossible until it is proven it's impossible, right? Yeah. So cheers, guys.
Right, okay. It's very exciting to hear you guys give those comments. And you know that as you do that, you're inspiring the others, yeah? And as we've heard, it's not about, don't wait for the teacher to teach you, teach yourself. There are a lot of resources online, yeah? Actually, just to tell you a personal testimony, what I do today and what I've learned to do with my skills, I've taught myself 90% of that, okay? 90%. If these guys will tell you how much they've been taught versus what they've taught themselves, probably it's 95% and 5% taught, okay? So just know that for you to be really up there and to have your skills, very well recognized and to do so much, you have to it has to be a personal initiative, okay? So take it upon yourself, use your free time to learn, use the holiday sessions to learn a new language. Purpose yourself that this August holiday, I will teach myself Python, okay? Go online, get some tutorials, program, so that when you're coming in September, you know a new language, okay? And then also participate in projects, whether with some group of friends or within the school things that are happening, always participate. Look out for boot camps, look out for ICT events, all right? So that at the end of the day, you're not just a student, waiting for the lecturer to deliver some course outline to you. But you're doing so much more with the time that we have, okay? So I'd really like to take this time to appreciate our facilitators, okay? You guys were the professors during this period, yeah? So you can add that on the CV, yeah? All right, seriously, okay? And we'll give you a certificate to stamp it in case someone asks you. You can deliver the certificate and say this is not a joke, okay? So we'd like you to continue doing that, continue learning more, and continue sharing that knowledge, okay? When you light a candle, it does not affect, the candle that lit, but it lights many others, all right? So what you have is a candle. You have lit 31 candles, okay? You had one candle, you lit 31. This 31 will lit, if at least each one of them lights another, you can see the number there. And at the end of the day, if you come, let's say, next year, you'll find that from this initiative, there are at least over 100 other students who have learned JavaScript because you taught them. You took time to teach, okay? And that is the power of giving back. Give back. Don't look at how much appreciated you are. You may not see the appreciation value at that particular point in time. But even God blesses you. And He does more wonderful things because you took time to give back, okay? So take that as always when you learn something, be ready to share, be ready to give back. And for you guys who've been taught, know that you have been taught because someone took their time to sacrifice their holiday, these guys will be somewhere, having fun, all right? It's their vacation, after all, yeah? So they are not meant to be here working, but they took time to come and teach you. So take it also as an initiative to teach others, all right? Don't stay with the skill, spread it, use it, do some projects with it, have other students participate in those projects, all right? And that is how we'll end up, with an economy which is very skilled, okay? So make sure that purpose to share that skill with someone. I know you're going to exams, but you can do that yourself. And as Tony has said, we'll have another bootcamp, which now will do more production JavaScript, okay? And we hope that to get more participants, and some of you, I know by that time, you would have learned so much in the facilitators, okay? So we look forward to that. Otherwise, thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Wow. As we come to the end of this session, I really want to thank you people, starting with our Vice Chancellor. I think I've learned two things from her. Number one, if you know something is good and can affect others positively, don't keep it. Take it out. She has already displayed that by, should have decided why bring my grandchildren here to do what? They could still have gone elsewhere and even learned even more and more and more. But I think she thought bringing them would actually light a candle that can shine here at ANU, and that candle can be passed to you people to go light other candles. You've seen candles lighting candles. You've seen that. And I think that is what Amos was saying, that the knowledge you've got, share it with others here at ANU and even elsewhere. Spread the word. And I think it will reach everyone. And I think you'll be surprised to meet somebody in Congo, in Ethiopia, and they'll tell you the root of their knowledge, and then you trace it back to this class. And so, Professor, thank you very much for that. And Chase, thank you, and Kenya, for even accepting to come, even with our invitation, and you accepted to give, everything aside and come spend your week here, which actually, I'm told in the next few weeks you'll be joining school. And I think you have taken time to rest or to do something here, but you chose to come here. So we really also want to thank you very much. And the participants. Without you, this event would have not have happened, isn't it? We didn't want to. Some of you would have said, those kids, what are they going to tell us? They would have just said nothing. But again, we realized by humbling ourselves, we have learned something. That there is something that we can also do and even do it better, isn't it? So I think I really want to thank you. Just 2 things, and I think I better pass it now to you because I've learned something from Professor. 2 things I always ask my students to do for me. I intended one time to come up with a capture method for capturing voices that were there before us. Not using the video and not using, but can you devise, because I'm told what we say now will remain in the air as a wave, because waves don't die, okay? They can reduce the amplitude, but they will still be there. Can you capture? Can you come up with a capture device that can be able to trace and maybe isolate voices and isolate all that? That's our future. I'm challenging you. You are young, you can think, you can learn, you might be the person to get that device. The second thing I'm challenging you, I'm tired of traffic jam in town. Actually, I don't like driving because of that. I don't like traveling long journeys because I really don't like getting that stiffness. I want a situation where I want to go Ushago. I get into a capsule. Within a short time, I'm there. Yes. Then I feel I want to go this place. I'm there. It can be done. All you need is, because we have drones, isn't it? Can we innovate those drones, okay, and get a cyberspace that we can have this on a grid that they can be highly coordinated, that when it takes off, it will detect any other object and be able to take a decision not to collide. In Sandia Lab, I'm told, there are some flying objects, particles that fly in a room like this, 1,000 of them, and they will not collide, and they are flying in no direction. So in the lab, it's being done, but I want it in reality to make sure that at least it can carry my weight and take me where I want to be. All right? So I am challenging you. If you can do for me those 2 things, me, I'll be okay as a teacher. Okay? So I really want to appreciate your participation, and I want to believe, like Tony said, we can take it to the next level. Okay? So with those few words, I want to invite our Vice Chancellor now to just give us some words of wisdom as we come to the close of this session.
Well, thank you very, very much, folks. And I guess today, I usually talk with you and calling you children and grandchildren, but now with the grandchildren here, I don't know what to call you. But all the same, it is wonderful. And I believe that when I tell you all the time you are a new family, now you know we are really family, aren't we? Yes. So it is really, for me, it is a humbling experience. Because when these 2 guys here, Kenya and Chase, they have actually gone to the US, I mean Kenya joining cousin Chase to the US last summer and this summer. And I'm talking about summer because they are both in the American system, even Kenya, who is here in Kenya. But to learn programming. Last summer you learned Python, right? language, and this summer you learned what?
Java.
Java. And so, but then, I think what the work they have done after they studied Python last summer, Chase went ahead and got into Java through
JavaScript.
JavaScript, yes. You see, I have to be correct.
HTML and CSS.
Say it again?
HTML and CSS.
Whatever. And you see the way they are saying they are new professors. Now they are professors, they are not. So anyway, but what it is that I think your lecturers have told you that when you depend on teachers, you limit yourselves very much. It is like you're being told, yeah, wait, the way, you remember when you are told that you're being spoon-fed? How much can you wait for your parents to feed you now? Being spoon-fed. Learning is the one that goes beyond the classroom. The classroom is just there to introduce you to how to do it. Then you do it beyond your teachers. Because if you don't do that, then you cannot discover. It doesn't mean that teachers are not discoverers. As you have seen, you know, really these people here have done discoveries, but it is not your discovery, it is their discovery. And what they have discovered is something that is close to them. Now, something that is close to you is very much in, you're not from Congo, you're from Burundi. It is something that's very close to you is in Burundi, and then Congo, and then Ethiopia. They can't teach you all that. You have to, every time you are in class, you have to ask yourselves, how is this knowledge going to help me solve problem X in my community where I come from, or even in the world for that matter, because world today it's a global situation, right? And when I'm talking about that, like Ushahidi, Mr. Gichamba, what has it helped, which you have been part of communicating?
Countries actually all over the world, in Africa, in South America, in the Middle East, all over the globe.
Right. So when I'm talking about you're from wherever you came from, you should not be limited to that. Because also, I can go back and say, Mr. Gichamba, the innovations you have done for farmers here in Kenya are localized.
Yeah.
But then we talk about it, you know, he's a very good example of doing local thinking as well as international thinking. And so when you are here, you need to be inspired that way, so that you can think far and wide. And you don't have to wait until you say, move your leg, move another one, you know? You just, now you have gotten a skill that will open up your horizons, so that we can indeed make Africa and the world a better place than what we found it. And you have to remember that for us to do that, it requires sacrifice. Sacrifice. And without bragging, what I'm talking about, I told you, I sat there in my iPad and counted 41 emails that had been communicated between Mr. Gichamba and Mr. Ngari and these folks to prepare for what is here. So it's not a simple thing. And it means that it has taken a long time, right? And this has nothing to do with their employment here in Kenya, at ANU. And so, and then for These two folks whom I told you, they came from this JavaScript they arrived on Tuesday, and Wednesday they were here. They are finishing today, and tomorrow Chase goes back. He is my grandson, and I've not even spent time as much as he has spent with you. And I didn't see him since last year. Are you getting it? Sacrifice. It's sacrifice we are talking about. For them, when they went to that JavaScript, their parents paid. I don't want to tell you how much they paid. Here, they are giving back. Do you see my point? So be willing to also give freely. Freely it is given to you, freely you must give. You understand? And that's what makes life a more livable place than what we found it. We don't always have to do something just because we must be paid, we must wait to be told to do it, and so on. So, to me, it is a wonderful thing. And for you, I have seen some of you struggling between the cuts, continuous assessment, and all these other aspects. For you to come here, and from different, I think we have how many nations here? Is it 5?
Let's see how many we have.
How many?
Burundi.
There's Burundi.
Yes.
There's Congo.
Congo.
There is DRC.
It's the same.
There is Ethiopia. Oh, sorry. There's Ethiopia and Kenya. Is there another one? Okay, 4. Nigeria. So 5. And the Comoros? Burkina Faso. Okay, so it's 6. We have touched 6 nations of Africa. This is a big candle to really light up Africa. We do not have to be importing thinking. We can be a Silicon Valley of ourselves, isn't it? So I want to thank these 2 people here who actually did not question when they were told, these youngsters who, and by the way, they are going to start their high school in 2 weeks' time, that they are, as you can see, they are still young. They are, you know, to allow them even to come, it's a wonderful, wonderful statement of how, if we are flexible enough, we can make it in life. Isn't it? Yeah, so to me, I really, those are small statements, but I really want to thank Kenya and Chase for their, even for their courage and for their willingness to come and help. So thank you very much. I want to thank their parents also for giving them to us, because it's a big gift. This is the first time Chase has been away from the parents without, you know, and they, by the way, they traveled all by themselves from San Francisco, and they were met by one of their fathers in Dubai. So they traveled, both of them traveled without any accompaniment. And that's the first time also they have done that kind of voyage. Great. So thank you so much.